with this need to be justified, okay? So I can't accept the fact in my mind that I'm a bad person or somebody that would deliberately hurt another individual. How might I start seeing Heath in this instance in order to justify my withholding of that information? Think about it. What are some ways that I could begin to describe him? Not prepared, right? Heath is not prepared.
Sure. He didn't ask me, right?
Yeah, what's a good way of saying that? He's doesn't respect me, right? Because if he respected me, he'd ask me. Yeah, doesn't value me. Okay.
So why should I do that?
Doesn't value or respect. Excellent. How else might I begin to see him?
He's never given anything for me, so why should I get something for him?
Ah, so then I can begin to see him as a non-helping individual. Non-helping. What about his mental capacity? I figured it out. What does it say about him if he hasn't figured that out?
Sorry, Keith.
We'll use that very technical
Your words
term again.
are hurtful.
Yeah. What else? Would an industrious, hard-working person have figured this stuff out on their own? Lazy. Lazy. He is lazy. Are you loving this?
I can't argue with it.
Any others? Let's pile on him. He's here. The dog pile has started. What else? How else are we seeing Heath now in this instance?
If we see the person as a know-it-all, you know, we're not going to, maybe we don't. He doesn't need my information anyways.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, make it. Well, let's make for the sake of this, we're making an assumption he doesn't have the information. So I think you're making a good point. We might naturally.
Pardon me?
You're creating a backstory with that.
But you know what? We're actually going to get to it at a certain point because it's possible that we can vaunt somebody to another place, and so we're really not seeing them as something that matters the same as we matter. We might see them as something that matters more and actually inflate their positives. Get beyond it. All right, so here we go. Heath is not prepared. Heath doesn't value or respect us. Heath is very non-helping. And at the end of the day, I think we all know that he's stupid and lazy as well. Ouch! Now,
were you talking about my wife?
did I? Let me ask you this question. Did I see Heath like this before I betrayed that choice?
Possible.
Maybe.
It depends on. I think it depends on your other experiences.
No.
Again,
But no, you're making a good point. You're making a good point. When did these thoughts emerge to me? When did these thoughts come to me?
That might be why you.
When did they just take place?
Prior to you having that opportunity to honor or betray. This must have been a relationship.
Let's follow it through. Let's walk through it for a second, Henry. I actually had a sense and a desire to help him at first, right? Oh, you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I had to choose to honor it or betray it. Right? Okay. So in other words, there was a sense on my part.
Desire or an opportunity?
Desire. A sense, a desire. So I had this desire, I had this instinct to help him. Okay? I had a choice at that point, right? To either honor or betray that instinct, that sense, that desire, whatever it might be. So in that moment, if you're going into a meeting and it occurs to me he doesn't have some information and I should provide him with that information. At that moment I had to make a decision to either honor that or to betray it. Okay? I chose to betray that. And because I chose to betray that, I found myself in need of justification for such a betrayal. And in order to really justify that, I had to begin to see him as something that justified my betraying him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so suddenly, all of these things begin to emerge in my mind. I wasn't thinking any of these things before I made a determination to betray. They only occurred once I recognized my own self-betrayal. I had to find a way to justify that.
Is that only on the first choice though? Because I think there's a slippery slope there where the next time those are the things you're gonna see because you've already made a justification.
Yes, hallelujah. We're gonna get there in a minute, okay? All right. So let's take this now just a step further, okay? How might I start seeing myself in this situation? What is the antithesis of a lot of the things that I'm chalking up to him?
Smart.
In order to justify this and say, it's fine, I might have to see myself as, I'm smart, I figured this out, he should have figured this out. I'm smarter than he is. What else?
Team player, healthy. Hard
Yeah, the
worker.
fact that it even occurred to me to share it with them says the kind of guy I am. You know, we don't always act on our best instincts, but the fact that it even occurred to me is I'm a team player. Obviously, he's not. He should have reached out or asked for help or something, but I'm a team player. Did it take me some effort to get that knowledge, perhaps, that he's in need of? Would a lazy person acquire that knowledge, or am I industrious? Am I hardworking? Right? Hardworking. Whatever else. You don't need to go too far with this, because now we're really making me look awesome. But he, check him out. That's just really, you got a lot of work to do, bud.
I do.
I know, but you know, it's good that you got a chart. You
I'll
can
get
start
there.
here and
I'll get that.
work your way out of that.
That chart.
All right. Here's the question. Let's suppose that I'd honored that. Would I have had any need to begin to justify my actions once I chose to honor that instinct? No. Because I'm seeing him as a person. Once I betray that sense, that singular, small, tiny little sense, to see him as a person, okay? It was an invitation to act on the notion of seeing him as a person, and I chose to betray it. But because there's something inside all of us that wants to see ourselves in a positive light, I immediately have to go into this justification zone. And I suddenly begin to see Heath in a completely different light. These are not characteristics that occurred to me until after the betrayal had begun. Okay? All right. So again, outward mindset, I see him as a person. Inward mindset, I see him as an object. Now here's the question. Do these thoughts and feelings invite me to go back and do what I originally felt to do? Kind of to your point to some extent, Danny. We'll get into it further, by the way, after lunch. But now that I'm seeing Heath this way, whether or not I did before, I certainly am way more now. Do these thoughts and feelings make it more or less likely that I'm going to go back and honor this choice of helping him in some other situation? Less, right? I'm just compounding the situation. Okay? All right. Of course not. Now, what is it that these thoughts and emotions do for me? If they don't help the situation, they don't make me go back and want to do anything for them. What do they do for me? What do these emotions, these thoughts about Heath, what do they do for me?
They make you feel better.
Yeah.
Justify.
Yeah, make me feel better. They justify me in that activity, right? All right. They justify my not doing it. When I betray my outward sensibility toward others, I need to feel, and write this in, page 32, justified. About to make a statement here that I think is probably one of the most profound claims that Harbinger makes, and I found it to be so, so true.